Sentences are building blocks of communication. Some are simple like bricks, others compound like bridges. Complex sentences weave intricate designs, but they do not just build. They ask, command, exclaim, and declare. Today, let us explore how to construct simple yet impactful sentences, from simple to complex and affirmative to interrogative. Let us become sentence architects. But before we start, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hello students. So today we will cover sentence structure. But before heading into the topic, let us see what is written on this background. So when you see the two graphics, one of them says S plus V plus O. This is what we are going to take help of today to understand sentence and sentence structures. So before understanding what is sentence structure and the types of sentence structure, let us know what is a sentence. So a sentence is nothing but the thing that I have mentioned in the first slide. S plus V plus O. Subject plus verb plus object. So a sentence is a group of words. First thing first, it's a group of words that expresses a complete thought, typically containing a subject and a verb. While in a sentence, an object can be optional, a subject and verb are prerequisites. So a sentence should mandatorily have the subject and the verb, and the object remains optional. This is how a sentence is made. Let us see now what is a subject and a verb. So a subject in a sentence is nothing but the doer of the action, but a doer in the sentence. So a subject, the subject of a sentence tells us who or what the sentence is about. It usually refers to a person, place, thing or idea. Let us see that with an example. So the dog barked. Did you figure out what is the subject in this sentence? Yes, you guessed it right. Dog is the doer because dog is doing the action of barking. So this is the subject. Alright. Let us see what is a verb. As we all know, verb is nothing. Verbs are nothing but action words. The verb tells us what the subject or the doer is doing, or sometimes it might tell the being or the state of a subject. Let us again understand that with the help of an example. The dog barked. So as you know, the dog was a doer in the sentence. It's a doer in the sentence. And what action is it doing? So it is doing the action of barking. It's barking. So this is why this is the verb. Now let us know the types of sentences. So there are 4 types of sentences, and these are categorized on the basis of their purpose. So the first one is declarative, the second one is interrogative, the third one is imperative, and the fourth one is exclamatory. Let us now know all the 4 types. So the first one is declarative sentence, and the meaning lies in the word itself. Declarative sentence is nothing but something which is a declaration. So a declarative sentence makes a statement and provides information, and it ends with a full stop. So these are the examples. The sky is blue. This is a declaration. I enjoy playing football. Again, a declaration. So you are providing information about yourself, or we are providing the information about the sky being blue. This is what a declarative sentence is. And the punctuation mark used is full stop. And its purpose is to give information or to share an idea. And when we look at the structure of such kind of sentences, declarative sentences is, let us identify the subject, the verb and the object, if there is any. Let us see the first sentence. The sky is blue. Sky is the subject. We are talking about the sky, and is the verb. So this is the subject and this is the verb. Alright. Let us see the second example. I enjoy playing football. So I is the doer, subject, enjoy is verb, and enjoy what? Playing football. This is the object. So we can say the sentence structure for declarative sentence is subject plus verb plus object. Alright, and it ends with a full stop. Let us see the next type of sentence, which is interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentences are nothing but they are questions. So it asks questions, it ends with a question mark. So this is what punctuation mark we use for it. So the first example is, what time is it? This is a question. Alright, have you finished your homework? Again a question. But you can see that these two questions are different type. In one, the first one, you cannot give the answer in yes or no, while in the second one, you can give the answer in yes or no. So let us see and understand the structure of interrogative sentences also. So when you see, let us take the example of the second sentence, interrogative sentence. Have you finished your homework? So what is have? Have is a verb. Then you is the subject, because you are talking about the subject in the sentence, which is you. So this is going to be subject. And finish your homework, this is the object. So this is what the structure of interrogative sentence looks like. That it starts with a verb, then comes the subject, and then comes the object if there is present any, and then comes the punctuation mark, which is a question mark. And its purpose is to seek information or to seek clarification. Let us now understand the third type of sentence, which is imperative sentence. Imperative sentences are nothing but something in which we can show a command, we can show a suggestion, we can give a suggestion, an advice, an instruction, a promise, a request. So that is what an imperative sentence is. It also ends with a full stop, just like the declarative sentence. But these are two different types of sentences. Let us know how these are different sentences. Although declarative sentence and the imperative sentence both end and use which punctuation mark? A full stop. But let us know the sentence structure. So when we will read the example, close the door. Close is what? It's a verb. Then door is what? A subject or an object. So you are being told, you are being instructed to close the door. So subject plus verb plus subject. Please pass the salt. So please is an expression that will not come in verb or subject. Pass is the verb and salt is the subject or object. You can call the subject also. So this is how the structure of imperative sentence looks like. Does it not resemble the interrogative sentences? Yes, the structure resembles the interrogative sentence, while the punctuation mark resembles with the declarative sentence. So this is how an imperative sentence is quite similar and also different from both the types of sentences. And its purpose is to give instructions or make a request or give an advice. Lot of things one can cover an imperative sentence. So now we are going to cover the next one, which is exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence expresses strong emotion such as surprise, joy, anger or excitement. So when you have heightened emotions, then you use exclamatory sentence. It ends with an exclamatory mark, exclamation mark. Let us see the examples. So the first one is, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. So when you want to say what a beautiful day, then you are going to use exclamatory sentence. When you want to say, let's see the example, the next example. I can't believe we won the match. So you are overjoyed, you are excited to share, to break out the news that we have won the match. So you would be excited, and this shows your heightened emotions, and which is why you will use exclamatory sentence. Now we will do a question related to that. Please pause the video and you can write about this one, and then we will continue. I hope you would have written this. Now let us look at a question to have a better understanding of the types of sentences. So here's the question. Copy and complete this table. Write at least one sentence for each function that is appropriate to the text. And what refers to the function? This is the function, sentence function, declarative, interrogative, imperative and exclamatory. So the first one is a report of a visit to a sports or music show. If you are required to write a declarative sentence using this text or on this text, then what are you going to write? The show took place at the beach hotel. Similarly, for the other ones, a story with a mysterious event. If you are to write an interrogative sentence using this one, a mysterious event, how are you going to write it? Let's ponder upon that. We'll give you an example. So, you can write something like this, that I hesitated standing at the creaky door, wondering or pondering, should I really be doing this? Should I really be going inside the mansion? And then question mark, of course. So I used a quotation, a direct speech sentence, and also used the question part too, the interrogative part too. So for the mysterious event, this is how you can write. Similarly, for instructions about how to get from your home to the nearest shop. So for this again, you have to give instruction, and for instructions, advices, suggestions, we use imperative sentence. So here you are required to write an imperative sentence, for which you can write maybe something like this, that walk through the driveway and until you reach the main road. Or maybe you can write exit the door and close the main gate, and you will find the shop on the right. So this, something like this you can write. So we have always ample ways to write a sentence, whether it be imperative, interrogative or exclamatory. This is something which is very subjective. The next one is an email to a friend after you have met a favorite celebrity. So you are required to write an exclamatory sentence. So you can write something like this, that I was starstruck when I met Brad Pitt. Or maybe you can write, I was awestruck when I met Mr. Khan. So something like that you can write. Let's now discuss the next thing, which is clause. So what is a clause? Let's have a look first. A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought, typically contain a subject and a verb. So in a sentence, you will always see, what is a sentence? It is a group of words and it will have a subject and a verb, and also it should be a complete thought. But sometimes that might also be the case that it could not be a complete thought. In that case, we have two types of clauses. One is independent, we will know more about it, and the second one is dependent clause, which is also called the subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. This is what a clause is. Please pause the video and write the same, and we'll continue. I hope you have noted the two types of clauses. Let us now understand both types of clauses in detail. So let us know what is independent clause. Independent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb and expresses a complete thought. This is to be remembered, that it expresses a complete thought. An independent clause is a complete thought in itself, and it can stand alone as a sentence. Again, a thing to be noted down, that it stand alone as a sentence. Let us see the example to understand what is an independent clause. So when you see this example, Jack went to the library to study for his calculus exam. So Jack went to the library and he studied for the exam. This is one sentence. It is one complete idea, one complete thought, and it can stand alone. And when we are seeing this sentence looks complete. It does not require any other sentence to have to make sense. Let us see the next example also. Me son received a beautiful present from Hannah. Again, me son received a beautiful present from Hannah. It can stand alone, and it does not require any other sentence, any other clause to have a complete sense. Let us know now what is the second type of clause, which is dependent clause, also alternatively called subordinate clause. So from now onwards, we will not use dependent but subordinate clause. So what is a subordinate clause? It is a clause in which it is a group of there is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb, but does not express a complete thought. That means that it cannot stand alone as a sentence. 2. It cannot stand alone as a sentence and depends on the independent clause, because that is a complete sentence. For its meaning, dependent clauses often begin with subordinating conjunctions like although, because, when, if, since. So subordinate clauses a lot of times and mostly they begin with subordinating conjunctions. And what are subordinating conjunctions? Here are some examples. Let us see two examples of subordinate clause. So the first one is because she enjoys reading. So when you see this clause, because she enjoys reading, will not you be interested to know the former part of the sentence? Does not it look missing? Does not it feels incomplete? Thought is incomplete. Next, the next one, although it was raining, and after that the part of the sentence is missing. So this is dependent clause because it requires one more clause to have a sense, to stand as a sentence or to make meaning, to have a meaning. For both the clauses, both the examples we have seen that both are dependent clauses or subordinate clauses, and both of them are beginning with subordinating conjunction. This is subordinating conjunction. Let us now see the types of sentence based on structure. So based on structure, we have learned dependent clauses and independent clauses and independent clause. So using these two clauses, the sentences are divided into 4 parts. The first one being simple sentence, the second one is compound sentence, the third one is complex, and the fourth one is compound complex sentence. Now I would require you to note this down. Please pause the video and note it down, and we shall continue. I hope you have noted it down. Let us now continue with the 4 types of sentences. So the first one is a simple sentence, and the meaning is also very much self-explanatory. That is it is going to be a simple sentence, and it is going to stand alone as a sentence too. It is going to have its meaning. It will not require any other sentence to have a meaning, in fact. So it consists of one independent clause. This is why whatever I said justifies, because an independent clause is only the sentence. It's a group of words which can stand alone as a sentence. It has a subject and a predicate and expresses a complete idea. So simple sentences are simple. They express a complete idea. They have only one independent clause. So the sun sets in the west. This is the example. This is one complete idea. Next one, she reads books. Again a complete idea. So you can give numerous examples like Jack lives in a small hut. So it is a simple sentence. I went to a Manali trip. So again a simple sentence. So for usage, simple sentences are effective when you want to make direct statements or express clear ideas. simple sentences, you can use that time. So you may now pause the video and write the whole thing. We will continue later. I hope you would have written this. Now let us cover the next type of sentence, which is compound sentence. So a compound sentence is a sentence which consists of two or more independent clauses by coordinating conjunctions, by using coordinating conjunctions for joining, and these coordinating conjunctions are nothing but fanboys. So I hope you would have heard fanboys. No, fanboys is not a band. It's not a band with a group of people. It's not a band of musicians. It is an acronym in English which stands for coordinating conjunctions. The coordinating conjunctions can be denoted by fanboys. F stands for, A stands for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. So these sentences are sentences where two or more independent clauses are joined with the help of coordinating conjunctions. Let us see the two examples. So the first one, the sun sets in the west. If you will look at this, this is one independent clause because this is one complete thought. Then when you see at this, just forget and right now because this is the conjunction. Now see the second part, which is the moon rises in the east. Again, this is a complete thought. So this is one independent clause and this is the second independent clause. All right, and both are getting connected with the use of fanboys and, which is a coordinating conjunction. So this is what a compound sentence looks like. So it is the combination of independent clause plus independent clause, and this plus is going to be fanboys. It has to be fanboys only. No other conjunction can be used to join two independent clauses to make a compound sentence. Although there might be cases where we will be required to join, or we will join a dependent clause with an independent clause or an independent clause with a dependent clause, but then that conjunction which we are going to use there, it's not going to be fanboys always, although sometimes we might use to. But for compound sentences, this is what you have to keep in mind, that there are going to be two independent clauses and those two independent clauses are going to get joined with the help of coordinating conjunctions with the acronym fanboys. So please again pause it and write it down and we shall continue. Let us now cover the next type of sentence, which is complex sentence. So a complex sentence is something which I had given you a hint about in the last slide while I was covering the type of sentence, compound sentence. So it is a sentence which contains one IC, independent clause, and at least one DC or SC. So what is IC? What is DC? One is independent clause, the second one is dependent clause or the subordinating clause. So complex sentences are a combination of IC plus SC. All right, and they are connected with the usage of subordinating conjunctions such as although, because, while, and since. So two types of conjunctions we have covered in these type of sentences. In compound sentences, we use coordinating conjunctions with the acronym fanboys, and in complex sentences, we use subordinating conjunctions. They do not have any acronym, but all the conjunctions just leaving fanboys and correlative conjunctions, all these conjunctions are subordinating conjunctions only. So this connection which is built here is of which conjunction? This conjunction. I will tell you with the help of another color. So this connection is of subordinating conjunction. So the compound sentence was the combination of two independent clauses or maybe more than two, but this is the combination between one IC and one SC. Although there could be more IC or SC in the sentences, but it has to be at least one of both. Let's see the example. Although it was raining, we went for a walk. So now let's break the sentence into two, where there is a punctuation mark. Although it was raining, and the next one is we went for a walk. So when you read this sentence alone, although it was raining, does it make sense? No. So this is which clause? This is dependent clause or the subordinate clause. And we went for a walk, which, does it make sense? Is it a complete thought? Yes, it is a complete sentence. So this is independent clause, and together they are joined with the help of a subordinating conjunction, right? So this is a complex sentence. Let us see the next one. She reads books because she loves stories. Again, she reads books, and let us now break this because she loves stories. So she reads books is a complete thought. One can read book. It's not a new thing. So this is independent clause. And because she loves stories, so this is an incomplete thought. This needs another sentence to have its meaning, because when the sentence starts with because, you are not able to understand that what is the former part of the sentence. This is an incomplete thought. This is dependent or the subordinate clause. Alright. Also, students, you come across there with one doubt, which is while breaking the sentences, you do break like this many a times, that you make she reads books because. No. As we can see in the last sentence, in the last slide also we have covered that these sentences start, with although, because. When we say that these clauses are connected by subordinating conjunction, so one of it is going to be independent and one of it is going to be the dependent, and the dependent one is always going to start with the coordinating conjunction. So if she loves stories, before that you are seeing the conjunction, this is going to be the dependent clause. It is not going to be. Alright. So the usage tip is use complex sentences to add depth to your writing by showing cause, contrast, condition or time relationships between ideas. So you can use these sentences in your writing while writing, as we have covered that you should not use just one type of sentences, that if you are writing just you are covering simple sentences or you are just writing exclamatory sentences. You should have a combination of all these types of sentences. And how will you apply if you will not know? So this is why we are learning it. Please pause the video and write the whole thing, and then we shall cover. I hope you would have covered it. Let us now go to the next and the last type of sentence, which is a compound complex sentence. So it has a compound essence also and a complex essence to it also. It has two or more independent clauses with at least one subordinate clause. Are you getting it? That there is going to be two or more independent clauses, but there is only going to be at least one subordinate clause. So in the sentence, you can have as many independent clauses as you want, but there needs to be one subordinate clause to mandatorily. Let us see the examples. Although it was late, we stayed up and we watched a movie. So let us now break it. Let's break the sentence and know which is the dependent clause and which is the independent clause, or which is the subordinate clause. So although it was late, it starts with, we have understood that in the last slide, that a subordinate clause is something which starts with a subordinating conjunction. So although it was late, this is in an incomplete thought, incomplete idea. Yes, so this is subordinate clause. Let us see the next one. We stayed up. We stayed up can be one sentence. Do you agree? Yes. So this is independent clause. We watched a movie again. A complete thought. An independent idea. Yes, again, dependent clause. So, did you see? Did you observe that 2 independent clauses and at least 1 subordinate clause we have used the example. Let us see the next example too, which is she enjoys reading but she does not have much time because she works late. So, this is one sentence, she enjoys reading. This is a complete thought. So, this is independent clause. Alright. Then she does not have much time. So, this is which kind of clause? This is again independent clause because it stands alone as a statement, as a sentence. And then because she works late. Is this a complete thought? No. This is subordinate clause. So, we have learned the 4 types and let us see the usage tips of this too. These sentences are useful when you want to show complex relationships between multiple ideas. So, when you have too many ideas in your description or too many ideas in your narration or in your discursive text, any kind of text, so then you should use complex compound sentence. In all, your writing should have a combination of all types of sentence. Please pause the video, note it down and we shall continue later. I think you would have written it and you would have understood the types of clauses and the types of sentences based on these clauses. Let us now attempt a consolidated exercise using the sentence function types and also the types of sentences which are simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence. So, let us now see and identify. So, the question says identify the sentence types and functions in this paragraph. So, you are supposed to do 2 things, types and functions. Let us see how to identify. The first one is the river Nile was incredibly wide, and after that there is a conjunction. This one, is this making sense? Yes, right? It is making sense. It is a complete thought. So, this is independent clause, I see. We saw a crocodile basking in the midday sun. Again, a complete thought. This is again, I see. They seem to be smiling. Also, this type, the first sentence, which type of sentence is it? The first sentence is a declarative sentence, alright. This is a declarative sentence. This is declarative in nature, in function. Let us see the next one. They seem to be smiling. This is exclamatory in nature and also IC. IC plus exclamatory. I am not writing the whole spelling. Next one. Even though we were traveling light, we were dripping with sweat. So, again, we have 2 clauses here. The first one, even though, here comes the subordinating conjunction. So, this one is the subordinate clause or the dependent clause. We were dripping, this one is what? We were dripping with sweat. This is what? This is a complete thought. So, this is IC, independent clause. And together, this sentence from even though to sweat, what does it make? This makes it a declarative sentence because it has a full stop. So, it is a declarative sentence. Next, then while the dusty old jeep clattered along the track, I noticed Clark's face beginning to turn pale. Again, the same thing, that while is used, which is a subordinating conjunction. So, this is a dependent clause or a subordinate clause, while the next part of the sentence is I noticed Clark's face beginning to turn pale. This is which clause? This is IC, independent clause, because it is a complete thought and it does not have any conjunction, subordinating conjunction as well. So it is a tip. Whenever you have any subordinating conjunction in your sentence, that means that is a subordinate clause. It was the start of his fever. Again, a declarative statement and also a complete thought. So we will write declarative in function, and the type is simple sentence, or you can say that this is a independent clause. So various things we have covered in this. Let us now move on to the last slide of this module, which is question for the day. And here comes the question for the day. Please pause the video and go through the question, and then we'll continue. Let us see the question that you are required to write. So, tell a story about a time you tried something new and challenging. So, first thing, which is narrative writing, and the second thing is you are required to write something which is new and challenging. So, you tried something which was new or challenging. Now, you have to use one simple sentence, at least one simple sentence, one compound sentence, and one complex sentence. So, you need to have a combination of all these three sentences in your narrative writing. So, this is how we can sharpen our skills and also continue to understand the sentence structure. This is what we should apply in learning while learning. So, this was all from my side. Please continue to learning and to learn, and be curious and continue to learn. Thank you. Love what you watched? Give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and subscribe for more.